Hey everybody, back with another reaction straight up right off the bat. Bryson Gray, Elon Musk. Alright, I'm just gonna check this back to back, you know what I'm saying? Thanks, just so you know, for any of you out there who are interested in knowing, I feel great. Yeah, even though that IV does indeed have some weird side effects that seem to linger day after day, but I mean, sorry, not day after day, a day after. um, but still, I'm gonna finish that course of that. Uh, it's this whole advanced 3D or 4D chess set, if you will, that everybody's been forced to play a part of. Is really it's really trying, but it's really, I guess it's, hey, it's good for teaching people the value of freedom. Once this whole thing is over, just don't forget about it. Just remember it going forward as of how to operate in this world, how to navigate. All right, without further ado, talking about navigating in this world, let's look at Elon Musk and this Twitter situation, and how Bryson Gray is going to give his 2 pence on the matter. Without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Of Elon Musk, take four, roll it.
In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a Fitbit in your skull with tiny wires.
Ooh. So is it? What's Bryson going to say? It sounds like Bryson is going to start poking holes into this Elon Musk thing. All right, so this is a kind of a pro, for and against. It's like Lowe's is more pro. It's like Bryson's going to be talking about why we should be distrustful of Elon Musk. Yeah, we can't forget, as Mr. Ike would say, despite me not, taking his holistic, absolutist rhetoric on board that much these days anymore. In fact, so to speak, um, you know, a fair talking point. The fair talking point that Elon Musk does indeed appear to be um, part of a lot of very strange body manipulating projects. So let's have a look at what Bryson's going to add to this piece. Fitbit in your brain with tiny wires. Alright.
Hey Elon, I see that you becoming a phenom. People putting faith in you like you someone to lean on. Know you were hoping this was one of those happy theme songs, but it's not. It's not something can seem right but be wrong. But AI fight for free speech too. I paid everything on the line for it. How about you? You playing about Twitter? Okay, I hope that goes through, because then there's no more memes. It's about what you can do when you restore everyone's accounts. I want to show you Alex Jones, all of the people that believed in Cuba, now they gone. People banned for saying things that fact checkers said was wrong, but ended up mainstream news. It was true all along. Hey Elon, got a few questions and that's it. Can be for free speech and have hate speech rules. You gotta pick. Are you still on the team of the elites, or have you switched? When you pitting first the people of AI, you gotta pick. Hey Elon.
All right. Now this man's barring, and this is true, conscious, considerate rap. He's not just, yeah. I mean, although I love what Loza does when he gets an anthem going. Oh, Loza knows how to just build excitement for the movement. But Bryson Gray is saying, he's actually being smart with this. Bryson, he's actually not saying, um, don't trust Elon. Like, they'd be like, don't trust him. He's owned by a cult and blah blah blah. Small boy in small trousers and like, all right, again, take an absolute approach where the for or against is a mistake. You really need. It's not being necessarily what's the man's name? Temple fence setting forever, but you must understand that the moment you take a side is the moment you have been manipulated. It's a weird thing. Trust yourself and just say to yourself, I don't actually know what this is all about. So it looks like Elon Musk is switching sides and he's one of the patriots. It looks like maybe he's playing people, who knows? But Bryson's bringing both of those considerations to the track. I got to rate Bryson for that. It's not just falling into the typical apparently right winger talking point of being excited, like people you see on the quartering, or I mean Jeremy from the quartering. No, and I love this dude, but or other people. I'll just keep. I'm just going to keep listing off every name because I want to get through the song here. But not against being excited about Elon's Twitter moves and all that stuff. But this isn't about grabbing a headline. This is about actually thinking, because we people. I mean, now I actually realize all the more. We're pawns on this chessboard, and this is not just a case of. And I'm also talking about the the YouTube commentators, let alone the commenters. So it's not to be taken lightly anymore. It's not as a case of memeing things up and getting a bunch of excitement. This is not about mindlessly following something with groupthink. Truly think about what the hell's going on here. Anyway, Bryson, keep it going.
The people of AI, you gotta pick Elon. Got a few questions and that's it, hey Elon. It's either God of the world and you gon' pick Elon.
I'm gonna drop something after this so-called hook.
Hey, Elon, I got some questions. Something ain't right. You still atheist to have you giving yourself over to Christ. You still socialists just trying to gain fans on the right. Cause in the end, we gon' be the ones that's paying the price. Hey, Elon, what's up with Neuralink? Has anything changed? Are you still trying to put chips up in everyone's brains? I know the health benefits that you so quick to claim, but I heard you say it's the information we can attain. Hey, Elon, it sound like great wonders to me. I righteously criticize you when people coming for me. I know you can change, and that's what I wanted to be, but I'm not the type to agree with somebody just to agree. That sound like Antichrist, sound like Revelation 13. Please explain to me how it's not exactly what it seems. And I'm willing to listen, Elon. I ain't trying to be mean, but it sounds like you trying to play like you the king of kings. You said that we should stop fighting AI and mix with it. And you said it on Joe Rogan podcast, it was explicit. I know, you think if we can beat them, then just get with it. I picked the people of America first, I might nick with it.
That's a good point, man. AI or Christ, you know what I'm saying? This is an interesting point. Like I said, I'm not just nitpicking for the sake of it, but what I love about what Bryson's put in here, this is what I'm all about. Some people think that, again, like David, like, unfortunately tends to, well, people David, like, or certain people, which is what makes me suspicious about David, like, in terms of what is he about, because you don't just want to pick on somebody just because they're a billionaire, just because they're rich, you know. Some people think just because somebody who seems to be having success, having a smooth ride with the system is talking, it means that they're coming from the system. Maybe, or maybe they're just, or maybe that there's a whole different layer to what's going on that you don't recognize. Let's just look at it like Bryson's Gray is saying. At the end of the day, what does it cost if you're dealing with something you have nothing to lose and everything to gain? You know, you're dealing with Christ right there. Let's put it this way: if you have it's okay. It's a bit like the freedom of speech argument. Like which is what gets people kind of resonate with Elon. The way to resolve society's snowflake issue that has been manufactured over the years is just to teach people to grow up, right? If people don't, the way to resolve the whole thing about free speech, you can't say it's you could offend somebody, blah blah blah. Toughen up everybody, then free speech can reign. Free speech only reigns with tough neck people, redneck if you would. But you know, when you're tough and you can take comments that you don't like. You know, whether it's a man like Elon saying he wants to do stuff with AI, believe it or not, or somebody saying that how is all AI? Let's go back to the Stone Age, or whatever. You know, it's like something that seems to be calling for one way of life to live and the other not to be given energy to. But in all fairness, it's just words, or are just words. When you've got the freedom to just say that, and for it to just be accepted because people are tough enough, then you've won. That's when you've got nothing to lose, everything to gain by people just toughening up and just being American, you know, being all about freedom of speech, the First Amendment. So but when you've got when you're dealing with a situation where free speech seems to belong to one crowd of people, it still seems to be a matter of dividing people, which is ironic. It's a bit like saying all lives matter is dividing people by saying that's not saying Black Lives Matter. It's gaslighting, pretty much. So if I think about it, I guess this whole thing about what Elon's saying being a partisan issue is illusionary. It's just whether what Elon says about AI is in line with what people on the right or whoever, anybody else agrees with or not, that's the whole point of the freedom of speech thing that he's putting forth. If you've got a problem with what he's saying or what he's pushing, then it's only got a problem with freedom of speech. With freedom of speech, it's a bit like, who's that woman who tried to go head to head with Candace Owens, and Candace Owens kind of took her out of the running. I forget who it was. Oh, there's a lady who, I forgot her name. Oh my God, she's been removed from the conversation. But anyway, there's a lady who's going back and forth with Candace Owens exposed her for having a track record of being an adult entertainer at one point and blah blah blah. Anyway, she was talking about Little Nas X's "Say My Name, Call Me by My Name" video, which I've not watched because from the glimpse I've seen, I'm like, I'm not interested. But at the same time, she had a point in saying that despite me being a conservative, you believe you either agree with freedom of speech or you don't. Whether Elon Musk is pushing things that seem to be of a different agenda, as long as what he says exists in the capacity of remaining as words, and you don't have to follow what he's talking about, then you got freedom of speech, and you got nothing to lose and everything to gain. You don't have to give. That's the thing. It's a bit like the mask things when finally they were removed in America on airplanes and so on. You just don't give energy to what you don't want to exist, and it fizzles out. There's nothing wrong with somebody wanting to wear a mask. That's their choice. It's when they want to push it on you. That's when people seem to have problems. And even if they think they're doing it for the good of humanity, you have no right to push what you believe on someone else. That's the whole thing about freedom of speech that Elon seems to be pushing. So it's up to us now. If we want what Elon Musk is talking about to really take shape, leave Elon be. Let him do what he's doing. That's it. Anyway, let's let Bryson finish this.
It's just my concerns. I hope
Sorry, my headset.
them niggas get with it. I picked the people of America first. I might nick with it. It's just my concerns. I hope you understand. I seen Christians leave God just to put their faith in man. They're gonna say that God can use anybody for his plan to justify why you so desperate to get the upper hand. Elon.
Justify how you're so desperate to get the upper hand. To say, hey, I'm the chosen one. Again, right now, this is more than being the chosen one or belonging to a certain team or whatnot. This is about indeed true freedom of speech. Truth will out. When somebody says something that does not resonate with truth, with the message of God, if you will, put it, or what you consider to be moral or whatever, a good foundation of what society should live by, anything to the contrary doesn't need to have any power over it if you just don't pay attention to it. Anyway, Bryson closes out.
Nothing personal, I just care about the people, Elon. Either a hero or the villain. You good or you evil.
Bars, man. Let me know what you think, people. I said my piece. Freedom of speech is freedom of speech. The devil or the divine. Where we go, when we go, all people. Peace.